Good morning. I just woke up after 5 hours of sleep, and that's very unusual for a guy my size. I usually need my 6 hours, so I missed on that 1 hour. And that is thanks to me being hunted by 2489's bullshit once again. So, I woke up, naturally I go to Facebook to see what's up, to lose some more brain cells, and of course I find this. A post made by, I believe, a member or someone from leadership of 2489, and see what the yapping is about this time. I mean, I just woke up, my voice is husky, so of course I'm gonna need my cup of cappuccino. Anyways, alright then, if 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 wants to escalate everything and shift the blame onto 2489, that is exactly what we are doing. Thank you very much for acknowledging that. While they themselves failed to honor the agreement and promise made to 2489. Did you see how I stuttered at the end? That is the psychological warfare 2489 is implying on me. Right, here is what Arvix had to say. Let's hear him out. 2489 played completely fair in this KVK. The original deal with 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 was clear. Whoever didn't get the Zig in the previous match would be given the final Zig in the next one. We honored that deal and still fought hard, putting in real effort, not slacking off just because we thought we had a guaranteed Zig. So here basically you're saying that you could have just chilled back, laid back, and just enjoyed 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 doing all the work, cleaning Kingsland, and then at the end, handing you the Zig. But out of your kind heart and generosity, you decided to show up and help 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 to win this KVK, right? To clean Kingsland for you. That's what you're saying. Right? Right, 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 clearly didn't want to honor that promise. They kept 2902, which is our campmates, in the dark, which left everyone in an awkward position. In the end, it was 2489 who had to step up and deal with 2902, essentially facing the consequences of a commitment that 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 failed to fulfill. So, the agreement you're talking about, the deal, that was last KVK ago, okay? That was 1 year ago, bro. And that agreement only applies to a KVK where there is one KD in one camp, not when there is multiple KDs like this one in one camp. In this KVK, we have a campmate, 2902, right? By claiming the Zig, you are denying their contribution to this KVK, right? And they contributed a lot. If you look at their stats, you can see they contributed almost as the Imperium in the water camp, this KVK. And they are not even Imperium, bro. They are not even Imperium as 2748. That's just crazy to me, okay? Anyways, moving on. We are not the kind of kingdom that just stands still and lets others hit us without reason. I simply asked our pilot to be ready, nothing more. To be ready for what? Can you please tell me, can you please enlighten me, to be ready for what? If someone's going to hit us, shouldn't we be prepared to defend? Do you really think 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹, being drained after fighting the toughest camp in this KVK 1875, would be attacking you, right? Would initiate the attack on 2489. So basically you're saying we, with no history of betrayal, right? And that is what you're preparing for. Mind blown, right? Okay, of course, once this spreads through the drama-loving community, the story changes. Meanwhile, we are still relaxed and focused on helping our allies burn flags. Just look at the map. That's so kind of you. That's almost as like the enemies are not even trying to defend their flags. They all are back in Zone 4, right? They didn't even try to defend their circles in Zone 6, bro. But that's so kind of you, of course, to help us clean the zone and burn flags. Bros acting like this isn't the bare minimum. Like you have to clean the carpet in Zone 6 and burn the flags in order to get to the circles. Like, don't you want them? Or do you want 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 to do all the work and even clean the flags in your Zone 6? From what I've been reading so far, it's just them showing how kind and generous they are, helping us win and clean this KVK, and at the end, of course, claim the Zig for themselves. Bro, I swear I can't make this shit up. That's... Alright, bro. If 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓹 wants to use public narrative to dodge their promise, that's their choice. Which is also a crazy claim, because I know for a fact you reached out to a content creator, I'm not going to say the name, because his video will be coming out shortly, covering the story from both sides, right? So you reached out to that content creator 1 day before my video was uploaded, and you asked him to cover your side of the story, basically making it public, and now you're saying, we are to blame because we did it first. Then he ends it with saying, you can judge for yourselves. Bro, trust me, I am judging. My grandma, who is living in a remote village in Iran, she is judging. My dog sitting next to me, she is judging and giving you the side eye. Anyways, I responded to this post by this comment. The deal you're talking about was for a single KD camp based KVK, not when there are 2 KDs in one camp, just like this KVK. You could have picked to fight 𝒟𝒄 from the start and not have to complain about losing DKP. Don't blame 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓏 for the fights you didn't get to have, just like what you did 1 year ago. It's always the same story, bro. Always with 2489. Right. And then they say, so why didn't 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓏 say this to 2902 and 2489 from the beginning when Diplo ended, instead of waiting until now? Because it's a multiple KD based camp. Shouldn't that be obvious? Like, why do our campmates have to suffer just because of the agreement we made 1 year ago, and that was for 1 KD per 1 camp, right? If this KVK was 1 KD per 1 camp, sure, you deserve the Zeke based on our agreement 1 year ago, right? But it's not. It's not. We both have a campmate and they both had contributions done, and a lot of contributions, especially by our campmate 2902. You can just check the stats and see how much they did, right? Almost the same DKP as the Imperium in Water Camp, bro. Do you know how insane that is? And yet, you are claiming the Zig for yourself. Then I followed by this, and this will be my final response to that post. The whole point is this isn't the first time your kingdom pulled something shady like this. First time 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓏 won by stats, and you all claimed for Zig, ignoring the stats. 1 year later, you're all doing the exact same thing. If 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓏 wants to use public narrative, that's also crazy considering you reached out to a rock YouTuber to cover your side of the story 1 day before I posted my video. Basically what I said just a minute ago in this video, right? We asked our pilot to be ready, nothing more. If someone's going to hit us, shouldn't we be prepared to defend? You know very well 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓏 would never betray an ally, especially while being drained after fighting the stronger camp for days. And we never have a history of betrayal, unlike 2489. What did you want to prepare for, except betraying your allies and taking the Zig by force? And once again, I have to mention that this isn't the first time 2489 is ignoring your stats and wants the Zig for themselves. That should say all you need to know about this kingdom. That is my final response to that post. I will not be responding anymore. And this brings me up to last KVK's stats. So you can see by yourselves how they had the audacity to ask for Zig. There you have it. So this is the KVK from last year with us and 2489 being allies. And it ended up being decided by a wheel spin, which again ended up by 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓏 being victorious, both by stats and by the wheel spin, just like 2489 wanted it, right? So at the end of the day, it didn't make any difference. We only invented the wheel spin, and that was it. 1365 was victorious regardless, right? We hold the final Zig. So, as you can see by the stats, we are the fire camp, and we have 30% DKP, right? 63.9, almost 64 billion DKP. And then 2489, which is the wind camp, they have only 18% DKP and 37.4 billion DKP, right? Almost half as ours. Half the DKP than ours. And they claimed the Zig. And the reason was that 1175 pulled out of the fight early because they couldn't fight 2489, and that's why they didn't get enough kill points and enough DKP compared to us, right? And they are saying the exact same thing in this KVK. They are saying the water camp pulled early, and that's why they didn't get enough fights compared to us. Exactly, they are saying the same thing, right? They are blaming 𝒟𝒶𝒹𝓏 for not having enough fights, for not getting enough fights 2 times in a row. Right, and then I'm going to read the Discord announcement making this public to 𝒟𝒶𝒹 members. So, hello everyone, we wanted to give you all an update on the Zig discussion that has been ongoing for nearly a week already between 𝒟𝒶𝒹 and 2489 leadership. I will start from the beginning, and as a disclaimer, there were no agreements made before KVK started regarding Zig rewards. 2489 leadership asked us first to get end KVK rewards for holding the Zig. They claim that they are the deciding factor of this KVK, just like they claim the same thing in this KVK. They also claim that because 1175 gave up after their war with them, the KVK was over from this point and any fights after were meaningless. These are the things 2489 can claim and will claim going forward. Or fights with water, they also claim that due to the fact water asked them to ally at the beginning of KVK, they deserve the Zeke. So they are claiming that the water camp, which is 1316 and 1846, asked them to ally in the KVK and they refused. They refused. That's why they deserve the Zeke, because if they had taken this deal, then they can claim they would have had a better KVK and ended up with the Zeke due to Raw Ability promising the Zeke to them, right? So Raw Ability, the leader of 1846, reached out to 489. They promised them to have the final Zeke, right? But only ally with them. So basically, pre-alloying and deciding the rewards before KVK even started. Due to these reasons given by 2489, they assert themselves as the kingdom which is deserving of the Zeke. After some days of consideration about 2489's request, 365 leadership disagreed with this, and we asserted that while we believe both kingdoms are deserving of the Zeke, due to both kingdoms doing everything right to the best of our abilities, 365 was the one that actually spent more tangible resources on this victory, just as it has always been with our Zeke discussions with other kingdoms. When we fought against 1254, Chiskul's ex-kingdom with 1846, we were in the same position as 2489 is now. But we considered the Zeke to 1846 because fair is fair and they clearly spent more resources than KVK. So in that KVK, 1846 were allies with 1365, and in that KVK, 1254 gave up fighting super early because they had a long off-season, like super long off-season, and most of their members were either dead, right, or pretty much quit the game. And by dead, I mean quit the game. They're not actually dead, okay? Okay, guys, chill. So, that's why 365 got less DKP than 1846. And naturally, by sense, by logic, we will offer them the Zeke, right? We will not claim to own the Zeke just because 1254 stopped fighting us early in the KVK, which is the opposite of what 2489 is doing twice in a row. Last year and now this year. I can't say that enough, bro. I keep have to repeating it. Anyways, next, the same thing applies here. And at the end of the day, it is out of our control where the enemy decides to fight. 100%. It is out of our control. We are not to blame if enemy stops fighting you early, right? You had the option to choose which side you wanted to fight from the start, and you chose to fight the water camp this KVK. So why are you complaining to have less fights? You chose this, bro. You had the option. Damn. Anyways, let's continue. We explained to them in detail how we cannot explain to our members why a kingdom that fought less than them is getting the Zeke when we spent the most resources. The same thing we are doing now in this KVK to our capmates. We cannot explain to them why 2489 has to get the Zeke having less DKP than us, than our camp. Finally, 2489 refuses to accept our explanation, just like what they are doing right now, and continues to assert that they deserve the Zeke, just like what they are doing right now. And now want to play a game of randomness, coin toss, right, which later turned out to be a wheel spin, to decide Zeke. We are still debating about this option. But this time the only difference is that they are not asking for a wheel spin or a coin toss. This time they are straight up claiming the Zeke. We want to know what the members think about this. Please take some time and let us know. The end of that announcement and this video. Alright guys, once again, I'm gonna leave the judgment up to y'all, right? Actually, unlike 2489, I'm pulling up with receipts, showing you every single screenshot there is, and leaving you to be the judge of keeping up with ROKDASHIANS. Yep, thank you for watching, and don't forget to watch the 𝒟𝒹𝒹𝓎 video. Finally, I said his name. Guys, the content creator who is making the video about both sides is 𝒟𝒹𝒹𝓎. His video will be coming out shortly, so make sure to watch it. I believe that's going to be better than my first video because he is covering the both sides, okay? Not just one side. So I'm sure that's going to be interesting, and I can't wait to watch it. So, yep, I hope you enjoy what's going to unfold next because apparently 2489 is preparing for something, right? That's what I heard. Take care, and I'll go back to sleep.